Hey everybody, how are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. I'm just quickly updating a few little things. It's good to see everyone in the chat. He did put these in the chat in the time, so I'll let him have it. Yes. You got that one wrong. You got that one. You got that wrong. You technically got that right. You got that. And you got that. Okay. I was just updating the predictions for one of the streams, just because one of the match predictions. Sorry, because somebody did provide predictions, but they didn't at the time. Okay, so I've got that here. Okay. Hmm. Come on. Good. There we go. Yeah, something about that. New predictions champ. I believe so. I'm going to actually have a quick look now. Like, who has actually? Well, he did the best there. Let's have a look. So, 3, 6. He did have a tough draw. So that's 3 there. Yeah, I did terrible. It's definitely not me, that's for sure. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You can't, Fernando, but I think you'll do well next time. So I'm just actually having a look. Ah, thank you. I think everyone else is better than me. I'm just a vessel. counting scores. So if I get was that right on that one? Yes, that's fine. Two, three, three, two, 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 two. Okay. And I get I did terrible here. Another three, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 6 here. Yep. 4. Mm-hmm. They sure did. It's another. That's a 4 here. 3, 2, 4, 4. And then here, so I got annoyingly the same score the whole way bloody through. Yeah, I hope he makes a safe recovery. 2, 4, 6. 4. 5. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Another 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another 5. Another 5. 2, 3. Okay. Just doing total scores for everybody and then we can begin. He's making that call. Right. So, got that. So, you got me, girlfriend, Zodiac. Roy Sheen, James, Bleach fan, the guy, Billy, Abdul. I think that was. Oh, and Glenn. I think that's everybody. Yeah. Oh, Ashton. Okay. So, I was absolutely dreadful. You can rule me out. Like, I am definitely, like, out of this. Alright, Josiah, how are you? It was indeed the longest. But yeah, I got absolutely butchered. I think he's are going to sign him. Okay. But I got well and truly destroyed on this. Okay. I do apologize for it's taking so long. I just want to make sure this is all correct. So Catherine got 5. Saturday's main event. She got 2. Evolution. She got 5. What's up, Fletch? I'm actually really. That's what I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do it like this. I'm gonna have to duplicate this fucking tab. 2 seconds, guys. I'm gonna have to do it this way just so I can keep looking. This is annoying. Sorry. I've fact, I'll do it this way. This saves me so much time instead of picking one by one. Yeah, I'll do it this way. It's so much easier. I think so. I think so. Right, this should be a lot easier. Right, last one, and then final tally, and then we're good. Right. Right, final tallies. Let's go. Oh, it's very close, by the way. Seth was supposed to win, that's right. This is very close. 5, 9. Very, very close. Adam Cole's got another concussion. He was feeling unwell on the day of All In. Yes. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, can we get first of all a round of applause for the former champion, Fernando? Can we get a round of applause for Fernando in the chat, please? Bear in mind he had 3 events on one weekend, which is not particularly fair. but he does get at least his rematch clause, which is next week. I think they might go for it, but I think they won't win it. I heard about it, but I've not watched it. So let this be clear. When I said it was very close, it's literally this. I know, I've just had a chance to watch it. This is how close it really is. Zodiac has won. Fernando was well and truly out until it got to Evolution. Evolution really saved Fernando, truthfully. Everyone else did considerably well. Abu and James put up a huge fight. I'm gonna put in like our highest scorers in the blue. Catherine picked Hangman. Everyone else did considerably well. Obviously, some people didn't take part in the right ways, but you guys did try. Hello, Roy Sheen. Good to see you. Now, here's the funny thing. Zodiac doesn't have long as champion because he will defend his predictions championship this weekend. Because frustrated isn't the goddamn word for it. I have a fair comment to respond to that because I know a lot of people weren't happy. Fernando's one of them, which I understand. I do have a response to the whole TNT thing, and we're going to get to that when we review the matches. So don't worry just yet. Fernando, your first defense is Slammiversary 2025, which is this weekend. Hey, James, good to see you. Actually, you're in perfect timing, actually. I think there's a good reason, and I'm going to try and explain it, and I hope you guys will understand where I'm coming from. Now, I need to know, guys, in advance, who is taking part in the predictions for Slammiversary. Obviously, I'll be taking part. Our new champion, Zodiac. Oh, fucking Jesus. Fuck's sake. I'm going to show you right now, sir. Let me set that to 16. Forbidden Door is going to be good. I'm sadly not watching it, but I might do a watch along for it. So our new champion, Zodiac. We are going to do one for Forbidden Door. I'm going to be at Forbidden Door and not Forbidden Door. I'm going to be All In next year. I'm going to drive there. Let's see, how many matches do we actually have on Slammiversary? Just so I've got it there for next week already. Is it, how many matches? 7. For a main card? That's ridiculous. I've got the card for it. Yes, so you'll do Forbidden Door predictions. That's good. We'll get to it at the time. You'll take part in the Slammiversary predictions. Incredible. Yes, nice one, Fletch. Right, so I'll put the title matches up. Well, I'll put the matches up now. But obviously, we're not going to do the predictions until next week. So Roy Sheen is in. Fletch. Fernando will want his title back, so no doubt he'll be taking part. Maria will take part. Catherine would likely take part. If anyone else wants to get involved, obviously it is this weekend. Home field advantage, absolutely. So All In next year is, yeah. We'll do it like that. There we go. If you want to take part in these predictions, just drop your hand or just say yes in the chat. Top man. Yep, got you, Maria. What's the matter? I'll quickly add Josiah's name. This is probably going to be one of the sleeper matches. This one's going to be the tricky one. Honestly, I think you're right. Yep, the Hardys are in the ladder match. I know, James. I know. I hope so as well. But we'll see. Yep, All Out is in September, and we are doing Bound for Glory as well, 100%. All Out this year is after Forbidden Door. Goodness sake. It's not really one for spoiling it because it's the circumstance. That's all of them at least. I think I've got everybody in there. Just in case he does want to take part, I'll put Ashton in and I'll put, you have a feeling he will show up for this event. And I'll put, just in case, I'll put Bleach Fan in there. So that's all of them for that show. There is no, at the moment, there's no pre-show matches. Oh, you're dropping the predictions now? We're not doing this till later, but I'll put them in now if you want. That's okay. Because you can think about it. You don't have to rush your predictions now, but I'll put your predictions in now for you. Oh, we're not doing this today, mate. Don't worry. This is just I'm just setting this up so everybody knows what the next show is. Well, the next predictions one. We're gonna do that on Friday. So check. Actually, Slammiversary is Saturday or Sunday? July 20th. It's on Sunday. You know, we'll do that. We'll do this on Saturday instead. Yeah, that's it. That's good. Saturday show. We've got this. We've got this. As you can see, I did horrible. And then this, where I did even worse. But just to give everybody your scores, these are your scores. Let me just shrink that down a little bit. So, Maria, you finished on. Everyone wants to know their scores, so I'm putting them all in the chat just so everybody knows. Yeah, you did very well. You did very well. I think, to be fair, you have all gave it your best. The thing is, I don't know if I'm going to be harsh to Billy or not. I think I'm going. I think I have to be because Billy did predict a cash in last night, but he predicted it on the wrong match. So that's the scores. So it was only by a point, but to be fair, that's when it shows how competitive it is for the predictions. But that's predictions. That's this time. In the meantime, we have work to do. I don't think I can give him half a point. I'll leave up to you guys. Doesn't really make a difference anyway. You know what? Okay, I'll give him five. I'll give him 4.5 because he technically predicted Naomi to cash in. He's the only one that predicted Naomi to cash in. Okay, so so am I, but it raised a few questions for me. It raised some odd questions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what show are we going to start with first? How do you guys want to start the festivities? Do you want to start with the pay-per-view? Do you want to start with the TV special? Or last night's premium live event? Zodiac, you want to start, you want to have All In as the main event, lovely. Roy Sheen, for the first 30 minutes, I was just putting in the predictions and counting up the scores for everybody. Josiah wants chronological order. That would mean All In, All Out, sorry, All In, main event, then Evolution. Start with All In, finish with the women. You know what, let's see, I'll put it in the chat. Hold on. We'll do a poll. We'll do a short poll, couple of minutes. It's in the chat. We'll run this poll for 3 minutes. I did. I'm alright. Sore though. But here to have fun. Well, best fun I can provide. Let's have a look, see what we've got. So we've got chronological order, we've got Saturday night's main event, Evolution, then All In, and then I've done one in between. suppose no matter what you do in life, never give in or never give up. I don't know. It's hard. No, hold on. Ah, thanks, Doug. I hope yours goes well, dude. I'll get yours on the background as well. 2 seconds, folks. Okay. So it looks like the winner is the WWE route. Okay. So Saturday's main event, Evolution, then All In. Okay. And I was not sleeping, thank you. Although I do need a drink. Yes, I'm awake. Okay. Is she? Against who? Uh, I'm alright, Tina. Thanks. Sore though. Why is Chelsea Green on Raw? That doesn't make any sense. suppose nothing on that makes sense anymore. Okay. Let's go through this. Let's do the proverbial question first. What did everyone think of Saturday Night's main event, if you watched it? We'll do it like this. Yeah, I don't understand this Randy Orton and Jelly Roll being tag team partners. Like, it gives me awkward vibes to the whole bloody thing. Saturday Night's main event, 3 out of 10. Evolution, 5 out of 10. All In, 10 out of 10. Okay. Billy, straight up, one word. Pish. Reasonable. If you did like it, tell me what it is you liked it. See, for me, Saturday Night's main event, they used to take it seriously. And I'm like, when they resurrected it, they took it seriously. But they haven't taken this seriously, what, since 2007? And then after that, they got rid of it. Like, just for example, right, I'm going to show you how long in between Saturday Night's main events were. So the original went from 1985 until 1992, and then from 2006 until 2008, and then we've had it since December last year. In this format, Saturday Night's main event should just be a once a year thing. That's not a bad way to describe it. Roy Sheen, honest opinion, okay. All In, 5 out of 10. Evolution, 8 out of 10. Saturday Night's main event, 6. So you think Evolution was the best event of the weekend? Okay. I mean, that's your opinion, of course. I absolutely understand that. What ranks Evolution so high, and why does All In rank 50-50 for you? What keeps it at half marks? But going back to this whole jelly roll thing, I don't fully understand that. Like, I don't see what is so exciting by it. I just don't. But of course, your advertised card is McIntyre versus Randy Orton, which again we all said we weren't sure about. The US title match, which is Uso versus Sikoa, LA Knight versus Seth Rollins, and then the world title. It just doesn't add up. I also don't like the fact that they've turned Saturday Night's main event into um, a crazy service for ad breaks. That's what I was looking for. Ad breaks. As far as I'm aware, he's basically a rip-off version of Rag and Bone Man. When you look at him, he looks like Rag and Bone Man, but with a little bit more beef on him. That's not me saying he's fat or anything. I'm just saying, in contrast to the two of them, he does look a little bit bigger. Yeah, Goldberg retired him was great. Why they cut him off though makes no sense. I saw that they cut him off. I think that was a little bit harsh. I mean, I'm not a particular fan of Goldberg, but I did hear that they cut him off from his retirement speech. I'm not sure if that was the right idea. I'm not ignoring your comments. I'll get to them in a second. I'm answering James's question. He did ask. So I got to respect the answer, of course. He did ask. I mean, to be fair, he was the first man to pin Goldberg in WWE, so that does make a lot of sense. All In was 8 out of 10. Evolution was 7. Saturday's main event 3, and that's only because of Goldberg. And you brought up, obviously, about Moxley. Fair enough. That's understandable. Like I say, I got to go through pipeline what I see first, and I just go from that. That's just how I think. So, all right, as far as I'm aware, his music just comes to that. So, I've never listened to him before, so I don't know. I'm the wrong person for that. Okay, so crazy way to describe, isn't it? That is what happens. Really? I did not know that. And I watched SummerSlam last year. I didn't realize that was his song. Well, that's one way to get the memory in. So, truly fair, unbiased review tonight. So, of course, Jelly Roll accompanies Randy Orton to the ring. Drew McIntyre is accompanied by Logan Paul, who said something on SmackDown that I have seen that really found funny. So he said on SmackDown, correct me if I'm wrong, Logan Paul said that he is sick and tired of influencers and celebrities trying to force his way into our industry. And I believe he was saying that because of internet trolling. Like, internet trolling in the way, like, he knows people are saying this about him, so now he's saying it about people because he's had matches. And I don't actually. It got him heat, but I think that's the wrong way to get heat. I mean, it has worked though. I will grant him that, but I just don't like the way that it's been approached. I feel like that's a mockery of the fan base. Roy Sheen, that's okay. No worries. Yes, we're back at same time tomorrow. Actually, no. It'll be just after 8 o'clock. 8:30. Sorry. I've got something on before that, so I can't. So it'll be before that. Let's see. The issue with WWE right now is TKO are pushing celebrities at the expense of wrestlers. I mean, Cross is still only getting time because fans shout his name. That is correct. What's up, Pinchy? Plumber roll. That's brilliant. For Goldberg standards and his age, Goldberg deserves credit for his final match. We will actually come on to Goldberg. Like I said, I'm going to be fair to Goldberg. I don't like the man, but well, I don't like his style of wrestling, but I don't actually hate the man. I don't like what he did to Bret Hart, obviously. But I'm going to be fair on it. So, first of all, McIntyre versus Randy Orton obviously was the main Raw feud during COVID. Well, the initial stages of COVID. Randy Orton ended McIntyre's first reign. Randy Orton then lost to Drew McIntyre subsequently to end his most recent world title reign. This match was very insistent on finishers. It was very insistent on getting all signature offense out involved, and it was about ensuring neither man was going to get back up. It effectively became a like a gunfight, like pistols at dawn type thing, like where it was Claymore versus RKO at any opportunity you can get. And you can see that throughout both men kept going for their moves. And we definitely saw the involvement of Logan Paul. Like he was far more involved in Jelly Roll. Of course, he has the experience that Jelly Roll does not have, but it's not enough. Randy Orton does get the win. This will now set up a tag team match for SummerSlam. And truthfully, this has to be a night one or night two opener. This cannot go, say, midway through the shows or be like your preliminary main event matches. Like I think this is a bad idea. I don't like this decision. I don't like this direction. I'm not a fan of someone say, well, I've got to call them Jelly Roll because now I'm thinking about jelly babies. Like I'm actually thinking about sweets now. I'll stick to Plumber Roll. So Plumber Roll versus Spoken Spall. If this had been someone else who was able to move, then I would actually understand it. I don't see it from this perspective, and he's going to have a short program, so he's going to see more on the card. I'm just not convinced by this, and I think they're only doing this because it's in MetLife Stadium. It's not a small stadium. WWE have had MetLife before. They know they need something to get tickets. This tag match doesn't sell you 2,000 tickets. That might sound incredibly harsh, but this doesn't sell you half of the Slammiversary allocated seats. It doesn't. And that includes having Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre in the match. It doesn't sell 2,000. And that might sound incredibly harsh to Orton and McIntyre, but I'm not being harsh here. These are two well established veterans, and they're stuck in this vortex. Perhaps, yeah, to wrestling fans it doesn't sell you 2,000, but general public, I suppose, because obviously Logan Paul was known for other ventures. Plumber Role, obviously, he's known for his music, I suppose. I don't know. I just feel like this is a mighty big risk. I don't think The Rock will return anyway. I feel like what's happening though, unless he returns for the main event, by which point Cody Rhodes will turn heel. Can we call him Sausage Roll? Um, you guys can say what you like. I'm all right with that. I get that WWE want to sell as much tickets as they can. Yeah, I'm sort of the same, Maria. I'm not a fan either. If WWE want to sell tickets, this might sound like I'm being cheeky or whatever, but if you want to sell tickets, have a good wrestling product, have a good television product, and you will sell those tickets. You won't need to worry about bringing in celebrities. You don't have to worry about bringing in The Rock from his past ventures, who's now made double the expected money he was supposed to make on his shares. He's on a 30 million share contract. His shares are now worth $62 million. Billy, no, he wasn't injured before the match. As far as I'm aware, he was injured during the match. Mike Tyson, yes, I would say. Um, what's his name? The guy who had the gimmick where he would only wrestle women, and then he took a pile driver from Jerry Lawler. The guy from the 80s. I can't remember. Sorry, top of my head. He got inducted in the Hall of Fame this year. That's how bad I can't remember. That's really a shame. Andy something. That's it. Kaufman. Thank you. I couldn't remember his surname. I think Kaufman and Mike Tyson are the top two when it comes to celebrity involvement. You could make a case for Schwarzenegger just because of SmackDown and punching someone in the face, but I don't think that's enough to justify their number one or number two status. I think it has to be Kaufman because he got a lot of eyes on AWA and that territory, and I think Tyson because Tyson changed the events for WrestleMania. He changed he led to the beginning of the change of more high profile viewing for WWE. Well, then WWF. Floyd, I don't agree with Floyd. Lawrence Taylor was a Super Bowl champion, but Lawrence Taylor also contributed to one of the worst WrestleMania events. Well, second half, actually, to be fair, it is. That and WrestleMania 9 are the two worst WrestleManias. If you look at overall impact, he was definitely an involvement, though. Big main event against Bam Bam. He did, that's right. Tyson as well that time was so damn controversial that anything he touched was, well, eviscerating. But Billy, have a good night as well, mate. Have a good one. Yeah, R.I.P. Bam Bam. I think when you go so heavy on, if you go so heavy on celebrity involvement, can you at least put them with people who are going to be safer with them or a bit more secure? I don't think Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre are the best examples to put celebrities with. I think they should have looked elsewhere. And that's not because they're not professionals. It's purely right now at the stage of their careers, putting those two together takes away a lot from them. Like Randy Orton has just lost another King of the Ring final, and then he wins at Night of Champions. He gets his win back. Drew McIntyre has just returned from a layoff. He comes back to a loss, and now he's got to team up at SummerSlam, which doesn't work. You see my concerns. So I'm hoping I would put this either the first or second match of night one or night two of SummerSlam. Get it over with early. Let a decent match start the show. Bring the celebs out. Let the celebs go. 10 minutes is probably what you're going to get. 10 to 12. And then after that, you move on. If they go beyond that, then I worry about a roll up. Pardon the pun. If you see what my way of thinking is, you know? Yeah. There was a brawl as well at Saturday night's main event between the two women who would compete in a no holds barred match at Evolution, that being Naomi and Jade Cargill. Jade, of course, is at ringside, casually just there, getting ready to talk. Naomi then just beats the holy hell out of her. And it just kicks off. We get ripped hair, ripped clothes. Well, there is rips significant on the clothes. And it forces Nick Aldis's hand. It forces his hand. He comes out and declares the no holds barred match now has an addition to it. We have the return of Bianca Belair. She will return to be the special guest referee, her second assignment as referee, her second assignment this year. A cat fight, essentially, is a good way to put it. Although this was at least a bit more. I would say this was more like a shark fight. Bianca has no allegiances to either woman. Now she's declared that she has no allegiance to either woman because obviously for a long time Jade made Bianca feel short-sighted of herself because obviously she knew for the whole time in kayfabe that Naomi attacked her and left Bianca feeling confused, whereas circumstance being the friendship died because of the attack from Naomi on Jade. The big three, as they were, are no more. You've got Queen of the Ring, you've got Miss Money in the Bank, and then you've got the EST. It's combustible elements. and you've set the gasoline, Nick Aldis, by naming Bianca as the special guest referee. We know what happened the last time she was special guest referee. Her temper got the best of her, and then she disqualified a challenger in a title match. Like she disqualified Rhea Ripley. But it was a really good brawl, purely because no one was at. There was no risk here. Like there's no risk of Jade Cargill botching anything. That's not to say that she can or can't. It's just she's not at risk of botching someone. Therefore, there's no danger of Naomi having to miss a step. There's no risk of Naomi overexerting herself before no holds barred. So it allows her to get a couple of shots in and then leave, and then it allows the crowd to be focused on Bianca's return, which isn't an overshadow, but it's a big mix. And I think that's what's most important is how you keep each side going. Because that hasn't happened for a while. Like normally a return overshadows a match. It didn't on this occasion, you know? Which is very rare. Hmm. I agree. I think it's an underlying use of chemistry. It seems to work. I think their chemistry is certainly visible, which is why I get confused by evolution, which of course we're going to come to very shortly. But first of all, we have the US title, and I I wasn't a big fan of this one. Um, Solo having to defend his title very quickly is something. It's quicker than Jacob Fatu did. He only had one successful title defense, so Solo has now matched this in half the time. We have Jimmy Uso in his first singles title match in a long time, I think, which is rare for him, which is intriguing. Of course, all members of the new the new bloodline or whatever they want to call it are at ringside. The interference certainly helped the victory here. We had super kicks with German suplex on the ring aprons. But I just can't take light of enjoyment on this because I'm still not interested in this group. This family feud has been going on for so long that I want out. I don't want it anymore. You know? Now what we do see, which is fundamentally true, is Jimmy Uso has far better chemistry in terms of one-on-one matches with Solo than he does with Jay. They've got better chemistry. but necessarily these family feud matches aren't taken up to the next level. Post match, we get a beatdown on Jimmy Uso. Jacob Fatu makes a return. He clears the ring and he's the last man standing in the ring. You can tell he's gunning for his title. I agree, even though I don't particularly care for that family, I do agree. hmm Jimmy is actually a much better talent. I actually, even though I don't care for them, I do think Jimmy is better. I think all round he has more to it as well. I think all round he cares more. Uh, we go to a backstage segment where we see Kathy Kelly. She has found Orton and plumber roll, belly roll, sausage roll, whatever you want to call them, jelly roll, and they've confirmed they want the match at SummerSlam. Seth Rollins, of course, makes his way to the ring for this couple of weeks old rivalry that's been building and has been formed. But sadly, of course, we don't get the full extent of the match or what would have been the match because of injury. This show, just to let you know, attendance wise was 13,000, and in total they got. And I'm not using this as a means to point score over match wrestling times or whatever, but bear in mind this is a special, and we got. Oh, damn it! What's up, Abel? We got 45 and a half minutes combined wrestling. For 4 matches, we got 45 minutes. Which you might like that, you may not like that. I find it disgusting. Don't ask me that yet because I'm not there yet. But I'll start it. I'll come back to it. Just for saying sake, we had 7 matches on Evolution. That's 1 hour 10. If my math is right, so we got 45. So it's saying we got 45 and a half minutes of wrestling bell to bell Saturday night's main event over 4 matches. For 7 matches at Evolution, it's saying we got 98 minutes. So that's just over an hour and a half of wrestling for the women. And only only 3 matches went past 15 minutes. What's up, Glenn? How are you? I'm going to show you all the match times as well throughout, so you don't need to worry about that. Well, you're going to see it all. So I just find it baffling. Like, I'm going to show you all the times we got for the weekend, so you can see the distance, well, the time difference. Right, I've got them, so that's that. So, oh, I went too far back. Damn it. Sorry. There we go. 98 minutes of wrestling, this is saying. If that's the case, that's ridiculous. So we get a heavy match next between LA Knight and Seth Rollins. Of course, both men back and forth in recent weeks have been attacking each other. LA Knight's been attacking the Empire. Everyone's getting all. They're obviously attacking him. Costing of the United States title. Previously costing him championship matches. Obviously, LA Knight's now getting his own back, costing Seth Rollins a cash in. He cost Seth Rollins a chance at King of the Ring. He did all sorts. But a springboard moonsault that happened, he lands awkwardly on his right knee. It's a knee that he has injured once before. I remember clear as day how it happened as well. The way they injured himself in a match against Kane on a house show. The the whole thing was sad and unfortunate. LA Knight, of course, reacts very quickly because Rollins does get to his feet. That right there was a judgment call. The judgment to just knock him down quickly on his head to showcase let's see where we're at, and to get him back to the medical team as quickly as possible. That's of course the intention. So blunt force trauma knocks the man down. Whether you like WWE or not, or if you have specific thoughts for specific talent, which is understandable, right now they need Seth Rollins realistically. I know obviously Paul Heyman made a bullshit claim recently calling Seth Rollins the biggest draw in the industry, which is pathologically stupid and incorrect. But he is arguably the most important person on Raw, bar the champion and a few other members of the divisions. And that's just for saying sake. But losing him to injury as Money in the Bank, it takes a lot. Like, it hurts his faction, it hurts any story they may have lined up. It doesn't give LA Knight's win enough strength. Like, this might sound incredibly harsh, what I'm about to say, but LA Knight's win feels hollow. It feels like, yes, the man is injured, so you got the win, but it doesn't feel big. If you know what I mean? Like, yes, you got your win over a former multi-time champion who's a Grand Slam winner and a Royal Rumble winner and a Money in the Bank twice, but you don't get anything out of this. Like, he now needs to go and do something more to justify the change. I don't think Rollins was meant to lose this. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, here's a win, but that's all that matters. How are they going to give it to him? Like, he's like, remember, like, he's Seth Rollins is out. If he needs to be out for over a year for this to work, you can't just give him the briefcase. I like the idea, but that takes away from it. The only way you can do that is maybe Seth. Like, I was going to suggest maybe Seth Rollins loses the briefcase, but they're already moving on to a gauntlet match, which we're going to discuss obviously at the end of the Evolution side of it, because we're going to do Saturday's main event and we're going to do the Evolution together before we do All In. Bear in mind as well, we're an hour and 33 minutes in, we're over 116 views already, so thank you everybody. But hollow is how I describe it. And I feel sorry for Seth as well. I feel like for the longest time Seth Rollins hasn't delivered, and I said it to you openly on the other show. Seth Rollins to me in quite a long time has not had back to back a great pay-per-view and great TV match, or a great TV and a great special broadcasted match. For a long time he has not, at least to my standards. And I went as far back as saying like the Pac match as champion, then the event. But yeah, he can't deliver. I think Seth Rollins realistically has to do one of three things: retire, change his style, or become CM Punk. Work limited matches that he can, but still try and deliver as best he can. I'm not going to say Roman because Roman doesn't do TV matches anymore. And I feel like Seth would not be like that. I feel like Seth loves doing TV matches. I think for saying sake, he can do so many other things. I think Seth personally should walk away. I know it is quite ironic, but it was the quickest thing I could think of. I don't know what Seth can realistically do. Commentary only? Hmm. He loves to be in the idea that he's the next Shawn Michaels when he clearly isn't. But I think we're at the time. I think we're now at the situation where he needs to stop doing his springboards. If his knees can't handle a simple springboard, then he needs to stop them. And I'm going to say this as well. Nobody's going to like this suggestion. He needs to stop with the top rope superplex Falcon Arrow, and he needs to stop with the Phoenix Splash. Even though they look great weapons, it has to stop. Tanahashi, as that's actually a fair example. Tanahashi's knees are gone. Like Tanahashi's knees are destroyed. So that's actually a very fair comparison. You could also say Taker. Taker's knees are gone. Yeah, Austin as well. Yeah, he's got no knees as well. He's brittle. He's retiring at Wrestle Kingdom, hopefully against that new signing. Seth needs to change his style, become a traditional heel, and become more technical rather than springboard. He used to be far more technical. If you remember his first world title run in 2015, sorry. Obviously, from 2014 when he won the Money in the Bank briefcase up to 2015 when he won the title, he was still doing a fair amount of springboards, but he was doing a lot of technical wrestling. Like, I'm not a fan of Cena, but look at his match with Cena at Night of Champions and SummerSlam, both of them. He worked very technical dressed as the White Power Ranger. Like, he actually was doing a lot of technical work. And then he did that for WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. He wrestled technical against Miz and Finn Balor, which Finn Balor won that night. So we'll call him Win Balor for 34. But he worked technical in that match. Since then, it just disappeared. I'm of the opinion, for me personally, if Seth Rollins wants to stay in the business as an active competitor, no more Phoenix Splash, no more Frog Splash, No more superplex Falcon Arrow. I thought, wait, did Seth win? I thought Balor did. I haven't watched that event in so long, that's why I can't remember. Probably because that event was dreadful. Oh wait, no, Seth did win. He was dressed as the Night King from Game of Thrones. If he wants to do a splash, I think he should do it from the middle rope. Yes, yes. Basically, no more top rope moves. I think it's because he knows if he lands on his knee once, he's gonna buckle it in half. I know you guys might not like that. I'm saying he should abandon his offense, but I would rather he preserve his career than lose it. Like look at basically. You know what Seth could do? See for special occasions, bring out the moonsault. Bring out the moonsault special occasions. Bring out the springboard crossbody that Michaels used to use. Maybe it's like a big pay-per-view event, do the frog splash. But any other mini event, stop them. Like, and I actually think as well, you guys are not gonna like this. I think he needs to consider a new finisher. Now, for the longest time, I wanted him to use the curb stomp again. I actually think that's doing more damage as well. So is the pedigree. I think maybe he needs to consider something different just to protect those knees. What he does though, I don't know. Yes, he has. Like, I really want him to, but see the way he goes up and he's putting his knee into that 90-degree angle, and then he has to stretch it straight after. That's still contributing. Death Rider, nah, too. That's too much asking for trouble. You know what he could do? I actually like this. I think that would be cool. Pearl River Plunge. You're on my way of thinking. I was thinking more. Tell me what you think of this. The ripcord knee doesn't help. I'm going to zoom in. I want you guys just to look on the one on the right. Oh, shit. Wrong one. This one. Right. Watch this. Let me know what you think of this. A reverse STO or a flatliner. I mean, he hasn't used it in quite a while. The STO is a turnbuckle. He did use it on the turnbuckle for a long time. There's Kid Bandit. Like, that's cool. Or see, I like when Santana does this, but you know what? I actually think this might do him well. Actually, no, that includes putting pressure on his eight. The King's Way is cool, but I don't know. I think you're asking for a lot of trouble. Maybe he needs to consider a submission. Or hell yeah, you know what? Actually, this would be the perfect move for him. He did use the ripcord knee. I actually think he would suit really well the like fisherman suplex. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but he has to change something. His knees are ruined. Tell you what, let's all put in the chat what you think he should use. If you were Seth Rollins and you were told you've got to change your finisher, what do you choose? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Actually, you know what? Because they're so similar in style. Yeah, I was thinking that. That's a good choice. That hurts as well. The X Factor comes down on his. He's coming down on that. Yeah, that's the face buster that Josiah's just mentioned. The underhook. I was thinking of something actually. There's a move Kenny Omega does. Thanks for mentioning Kenny Omega. There's a move that Kenny Omega does that I actually think would be perfect for Seth Rollins. Not the one-winged angel. He would fucking not be able to manage it. What I'm thinking of is this. I think this would be a perfect choice for Seth Rollins. Let's see if I can just find. He does need to avoid the pedigree, absolutely. Why are you being a dick? The vertebraker, no, that. Nah, it's over. Not that. I was thinking more this. I found the right thing for it. I was thinking, how about he does one of two moves? The Judas effect, that would be good. So I'm gonna put in two in the chat that I would like. So I would go. So this is option number one. That's my first suggestion. My second suggestion. No, sliced bread means you're still going up on your knees. Those are my suggestions. The electric chair German suplex would be very good, and and he is protected as well. The Impaler DDT would be, and I would like to see him use it because I know he is still a big fan of Copeland, and I think he would do really well with that. Like I think he would get a lot of good momentum, good speed, and a good takedown. Ah, a lot of people use it. Ah, good point. Nah, Sami Zayn pretty much uses that. Burning Hammer's an excellent move. I'm not thinking about it for that reason though. Actually, there's something I want to look at. I am not thinking. Maybe this is actually going to help. He's also he only turned 39 2 months ago. Let me just. This'll do. If he starts doing that, then I suppose it would be okay. I think he would be alright to do a super kick. It makes sense. Right, let's have a look. A stomach claw. That would be good. Dark Seth of the Ring submission. That would actually be cool. You know what, actually? Seth Rollins would be perfect for a Dragon Sleeper. I actually think he should do a Dragon Sleeper. Obviously, he would argue and say his knees are fine and all that, and he'll recover, but I'm just thinking of the welfare of his legs and his knees. It would be, but we're not looking to think about brutal though. We're looking about like how can we preserve this man's knees? Spinning toe hold is a throwback. Alright then, so one submission, one traditional finisher. How about the Dragon Sleeper and Falcon Arrow? Because what I was thinking in mind, even though but the problem is Santana does it, is Santana does that power bomb into the alley oop reverse facebuster, and I'm thinking, well, he does it he does the alley oop facebuster into a Liger bomb basically. But then I was thinking Seth Rollins could do a great Liger bomb. Takeshita does it as well, yeah. It is really sick. Like Santana, when Santana does it, he looks like he wants to kill you. Although Abel's suggestion of his version of a Judas effect would actually work a lot. At least he's not doing a buckshot lariat. His knees would fuck up. The buckle bomb is a finisher. Yes. Still heavily reliant on the knees though. He could get the Irish whip over as a finisher. That actually, see money, you've just gave me an idea. Seth Rollins could get the Irish whip over as a finish. So what if Seth Rollins literally for a finish just used any move that involved an Irish whip rebound attack? Seth Rollins does an Irish whip, hits a spine buster, 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins hits an Irish whip, pop up, hits a cutter, 1, 2, 3. Hits a pop up power bomb, 1, 2, 3. Hits a cross body, hits a like. You could use the Irish whip and hit so many different variations just to win a match because you can't predict him. The only way you stop him, you just counter the Irish whip. Hmm, intriguing. I think he could do maybe. I would like if he did the dragon sleeper, but he called it the Kingslayer. Because obviously he's so adamant about beating Triple H at WrestleMania several years ago, he called himself the Kingslayer. How about he just calls a submission finisher the Kingslayer, and it could be like a dragon sleeper from behind, and he wraps the legs around like a Coquina clutch position, but he's got a dragon sleeper on. Stormbreaker, he would never be able to manage that. His knees would collapse. Speaking of collapsed knees, Goldberg is in the main event. He goes a grand spanking 15 minutes 20 seconds. He has Josh Barnett walk him to ringside. Jesus, Josiah. And Zodiac, Christ almighty. Goldberg's retirement match goes 15 minutes longer than most should. I mean, he did have a match of a log because Goldberg is a log if you look at him. Spear, jackhammer, spear through the timekeeper's position. Charles Robinson got murdered. His son got involved. The jackhammer into a 2 count then gets caught into the sleeper hold. It's a way to win. Like he does catch him, but I'm surprised he was able to go that distance. Like I never expected it. And obviously it's because of Goldberg as a talent. It's not really his style to do long matches. He's a short burst guy. Maybe, I don't know. Alongside the Lashley match. Yeah, the Lashley match as well, wasn't it? Hey, Lark Bark. Yeah, Lashley should have bullied him. 19 minutes, 30 seconds. I was going to say that was a lot back then. Nobody saw that coming. I didn't realize how unfortunate it is as well, but like cutting him off TV as well. Like I feel like that was a horrible way to ruin his retirement. I did not understand that choice. I think time constraints doesn't help, but he's not going to get that opportunity to have like a proper retirement speech. I feel like he's lost that. I feel like they took that away and didn't really prepare, which is unfortunate. But that was Saturday night's main event. Evolution. What did we all think of Evolution? You think pretty great. Fair enough. I feel like they got a decent attendance from what they were able to achieve. 8,300 they say they got. Well, 8,351. I feel like if you're going to invest so much, you're going to invest so much time into your women's division. You need to if you're going to give them this event, you need to invest more into the divisions across the whole way. You've got to invest more in the talent. You've got to allow the talent to grow and actually take the chance by the scruff of the neck. You need to let them like test themselves in the best way and see if they can go the whole manner and let them see what they can provide. Now we had 7 matches. 4 of them were between 8 minutes and 11 minutes. The other 3 were 15 minutes or longer. I don't particularly understand that. Like that, I don't understand. I feel like some of those matches were a little bit undershort. Didn't get a chance to take the match longer. Like pacing wise, I feel like they were given not as much allocated time per match as they should have. Just as my thoughts before we get into it. But I think they tried to include as much as they could. And they wanted to let them at least showcase themselves on a stage where it's just them. So let's start with the second longest match on the show, which was the Women's Intercontinental Title Triple Threat, which is champion Becky Lynch defending against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. This this is one of your main, well, your sorry, one of your like important feuds on Raw that they're trying to tell, and it opens the show. I think they got the positioning wrong. Personally, I think this shouldn't have been the opener, but I can see why they've opened it because obviously the 3 names involved, 2 of them obviously have a long-term legacy from the NXT development scene, obviously then getting put on. The longest time, longest effort certainly showed that. But I feel like if you're going to give this one so much time, should it be later on the show rather than early? I think that that just comes down to personal point of view on it, rather than let's just grant the position, let's just go with it. There's a lot of finisher attempts. There's a lot of finishers successfully achieved. There's a lot of premature pinfall celebrations, which did not, of course, lead to anything. We get manhandle slams, we get Lyra Valkyria's Michinoku driver type thing that she does. We get elbows, we get arm bars, but we get the successful look of the backslide countered into a roll up, which Becky Lynch wins the match and retains her title. I am surprised that it was Bayley that took the pin. I did not expect that. Truthfully, I did not expect that. I know I had Bayley winning the match, but I thought if you're going to have someone losing, I thought it would have been Lyra. I didn't think it would be I didn't think it would be Bailey, although she seems to be fine putting lots of these over moments. She's certainly capable of doing it a lot more. So at least we know she stands on that business. I think problem is they were not able to keep up with each other. The flow wasn't there. They got 16 and a half minutes. I feel like one was working too fast, the other was working at a steady pace, and then the other was working too slow. So we never really got a true trying the best way to explain this because this is tricky. That's it. We never got a true representation of working style between these three women because the pacing from each of them differed from each other that did not allow it to make a lot of clear sense. But I think maybe in the end, I think it may, even though I'm not a particular fan of her, I think it may have made more sense to have Becky Lynch retain the title. I understand the choice. And I think maybe they did do the right thing in the end by position as well, because depending on what other matches you have, could they have overcame that? I don't know. Next up, we have the NXT Women's Title, Jacy Jane versus Jordan Grace. Blake Monroe very early on and throughout the match makes her presence felt to protect the challenger from the rest of Fatal Attraction, as they're called. But she would then betray. Jordan Grace hits her with the title belt. And then Jane would secure the win. I can't say this enough that this match wasn't particularly good. Yeah, they made her come in, be dominant, get to this championship match, only to have her lose because of Blake Monroe's interference. It seems that they're just going to have the belt go straight to Blake Monroe rather than Jordan. I think I don't think this match translated well at all. I think I didn't see any chemistry between them. I didn't see a lot of chemistry, if I'm being honest. I don't think Jacy Jane and Jordan Grace actually work well. In terms of the powerhouse stuff, 100% she is. Yeah, I feel like they're rushing to make her the title holder or the next main eventer for this division. I think they're rushing. And I think they need to be careful. I certainly think they're rushing to it. I think Jordan could have done something for them in the time being. I think that's unless this is her now going to SmackDown. I don't know, but not unless you watch the Stardom stuff. But I agree. I agree. I think they're rushing the situation. And also seeing Vicky Guerrero in the crowd, I just don't like that at all. She was fairly good in Stardom, yeah. I quite liked what I saw of her. Up next, the last of the two matches that make past 10 minutes. Yes, she is. I have to say, I did not like this tag match. This tag match really, for me, didn't click. I don't think I don't think they got it right. Oh yeah, you would be. I don't like the makeup of this tag match at all, and I like tag team wrestling, men or women. I like tag team wrestling. I didn't like this. I think they missed a trick not making this elimination rules. We could have had a longer match as well. This could have went 15 minutes if they added eliminations, but they chose not to. So we don't get a decent sample size of work from Roxanne and Raquel as tag team champions. The involvement of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, as I call them, the confusing tag team. We don't get a lot out of them. The crowd reacting, saying we want Charlotte was very surprising. That caught me by surprise. I think after not seeing a lot of her, I think Zol Ruka fairly decent. I think Zarya had an okay showing. She did have to go alone quite a few times. I think Asuka and Kairi Sane were they're here just for name, they're just for show, but they didn't do anything. I actually think the only team that was consistently doing stuff was the champions. And for a tag team match with multiple women, that's not good. I feel like that it was hurting a little bit. Sol Ruka, the fact that she was going for her third title but was unsuccessful was interesting. Alexa Bliss, huge pots for her. Good crowd reaction, good crowd control. Roxanne Perez, of course, would contribute to the victory that was achieved by Raquel Rodriguez. She has a power bomb on Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka gives off the pin, and we move on to the shortest match on the night, the shortest match by a distance as well. Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton, women's title. What's up, Fletch? The shortest match on the show, and I actually don't I don't understand why this was less than 10 minutes. This was less than 9 minutes. It was 8.5. Yeah, it was Zodiac mentioned that earlier on. I don't understand that at all. Because one, Chelsea Green's a SmackDown superstar. Unless she's moving to Raw. I don't get it. But this is the shortest match on the show, and you can see that because they were they weren't rushing to get their moves in. They weren't rushing to get spot to spot, but they were not working steady, if that makes sense. I feel like they were trying to not deliberately rush themselves, but they were trying to work quicker within the allocated time, but they didn't have enough prepared. And we saw that by the fact they kept slapping each other. And it seemed like a slap rehearsal, and we knew what we were getting. It seemed like, yeah, this is what to expect, but we're not going to give you the good stuff anyway. But yeah, even more so, and I said this was going to happen as well, and I'm actually really disappointed it did. The satisfaction from the apron to the floor, that was cool. But Tiffany winning with one moonsault, she wins with one moonsault, and Stratus puts her over so easily. I just do not like that. No problem, Zodiac. I hope you'll be able to watch it back, mate. Don't worry, I do as well. I think we need to get away from the. I think we need to get away from Tiffany Stratton as a baby, like supposed babyface is not working. Battle Royal, that was 15.5 minutes of a few quick eliminations, then a few short in between. Nikki Bella comes out first, and she's eliminated towards the end. Final three, of course, of this match was Stephanie Vacour, Lash Legend, and Nia Jax. Nia Jax was in my opinion, I think Nia Jax was the MVP of the Battle Royal. I think she was by far the best performer, even though I think the Battle Royal under delivered. I think she was still the best in the match. Stephanie Vacour, of course, winning, I think is the right call. I think it is the right call. Predictable, but makes sense. I feel like they're rushing on Stephanie Vacour as well because of how good she is. I think they're rushing her. They should take their time. I think realistically, I think they should have went. I know I picked Nikki Bella to win, but I had her purely for the sense of it makes more sense to be patient with Stephanie, then you give her the reward later, not give her the world title straight away. I feel like they're going to go straight to the world title. And if it's against Naomi, I don't know, but at least it's a heel. Lash Legend, of course, does contribute to the elimination of Nia Jax. It was really well done. And Wade Barrett's commentary in this match was really unsettling and off-putting. I did not like this at all. I did not like his constant excitement every time Stephanie Vacour tried to go for the devil's kiss. I I just think that's cringe. And I found another moment of this match cringe, and it was Maxine Dupree and Natalia doing worms. I that was just disturbing. Not a fan. Did not like that at all. I think it makes Natalia look too silly when people at times don't like her enough. I feel like this is just adding to that. I think NXT was particularly weak in this match. The NXT talent did not show well, except from Lash Legend, even though I don't think much of her either. She might be the best, but she's only just got to the main roster. I feel like why would you rush her into the world title scene? That's my only thing, like I don't think she'll win the title first time round though. I think she might win it second time. But yeah, NXT really did not show up well for me. Yeah, I did. I said it purely for the sense of like I thought because of the fact they brought her back and they're going to bring her back for a longer run now. I had her picked purely in the sense of they will try and rely on older names for a while. That's why I went for her, just for that reason. The main event over 25 minutes. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, both women continue to go at each other, continue to try and prove who's better than the other, who who isn't going to crumble. And before long, it got to the point where both of them are hitting hard. They go from slow pace to a very quick pace as well. In the match, they chop and change throughout. We got moonsaults, we got riptides, and then of course we get the turnbuckle spot, which leads to Naomi coming out. The referee took a ref bump as well, which is no surprise. But Naomi gets the win. Naomi's probably the biggest shock of the night. The way she lost by going through the table against Jade Cargill when, quite frankly, it seemed a bit over the top. It didn't feel as extreme for me as a match. It should have been. I don't think that match was extreme enough. I think they could have gone further, but they chose not to. But I was very surprised that Naomi won. I was very surprised. Okay. For All In, final short review for a 6 hour main card. They certainly put a lot of time and stock into this. So the main show starts with the World Trios title. So I don't do the 0 hour. I don't react to 0 hour shows, but Trios title on the line. Samoa Joe, Hobbs, and Shibata defending against the Death Riders. Gabe, Yuta, Castagnoli. The the Ops were on a mission and they were successful. Wheeler Yuta, he sold the best in this match, especially Samoa Joe offense. Like he took him to the point of you're really gonna have to beat the hell out of me to stop me, which I really did like. I think they all got a good pace. They all clearly worked this match well. But the match is overshadowed by a better post match, which was the Death Riders destroying Samoa Joe and the rest of the Ops. Like they all got destroyed, and I think that's actually bigger than the match itself because that had an impact. That's taken away some support for Hangman in the main event, which is actually really well done. I think that actually does work really well. So this match is overshadowed by this post match. Men's Gauntlet, second longest match on the card by a full minute. This was 34:55. MJF, of course, is the second man enter. Mark Briscoe wins it. Kidding, he does not, but he does obviously win the first entrance spot. This, for all who's involved, the likes of Mark Briscoe, you've got Briscoe, MJF, Ricochet, Bandito, Takeshita, Mystical, Josh Alexander, Bowen, Strong, King, Robinson returns, Ibushi gets involved, Beast Mortals, Max Caster. I feel like they missed out on some involvement from other talent, but I had MJF to win, but I'm starting to think, was he the right call? But I stand by my pick. I had him to win because it seemed like it was obvious they were going to do it. It was obvious that they were going to follow up on his recent All In record as well, which is actually quite good. I feel like this match missed a few people, but the return of Juice Robinson, then the Guns come out to save as well. The Gates of Agony get involved. A few feuds are obviously escalated, which is really good. Some stories are increased on. For me, the standout performer of this match was Roderick Strong, but I see why they went for MJF now more than before. I'm not sure if it was the right call though, but I see why they put it on him. The third match of the main card is the Fatal Four Way for the vacant AEW TNT title. Obviously, Adam Cole is now dealing with another concussion, which could stop him this time for good. I think it might. I hope not, but I think it will. A lot of people were not happy about this result. Dustin Rhodes winning the title when Kyle Fletcher should have won. I understand that. I think they've I think they've picked the right winner though. Like I think they had to choose Dustin Rhodes because if you just have Kyle Fletcher win a vacant title, then he hasn't overcome anyone to do it. And I feel like that actually hurts him more than anything else. So with Dustin winning the title, it almost sets him up for a short but valuable reign for his service to the company. You set up the service, and then when he loses, he's putting over the younger star. And I think that's why they've went for him. Was it the only right choice? I don't know, but I can see your thinking. But when it comes to the TNT title, I think they were, even though it's not a popular choice, I think it was the right choice as well. Just to let you know, I think it was the right choice. An incredible tag team match follows. The entrances alone are absolutely incredible. The Assassin's Creed entrance, I know you hate it, and I understand that. I don't blame you for hating it either. I think you're right to hate it. I can see why they've done it though. Like I do see the reasons behind it, but I do get why you hate it. I thought the entrances were brilliant. I thought the entertainment of the Bucks' delayed entrance was absolutely funny. What's up, Catherine? Catherine, you were actually very close to winning the whole thing, by the way. I think they were. Yes, but I think he will get it very, very soon. I think they were. I just think it would be a bit unwise to. If it had been Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher, then Kyle Fletcher definitely would win. And I wouldn't argue that. But if Adam Cole is then ruled out as he is, he's had to vacate the title. No worries, Catherine. If you've got no champion that the challenger was going to beat, like I said earlier on about hollow victory, Kyle Fletcher becoming TNT champion becomes hollow because he's not beaten the champion. I feel like if he wins it in a vacated form, it takes away from him. So I feel like now you put him in a spot where he wins it from a champion, it does make him work. And kind of in a way, it works in this tag match as well. I get that, Maria. I do absolutely understand that. I certainly see where you're coming from. That's why I'm not going to like dismiss you guys' thoughts on it at all. I'm not going to. Now, the tag match, sequence wise, they all delivered. They all delivered. I don't think either of these two from these two tag teams, sorry. I don't think either tag team underperformed or failed to show up. I think they all turned up. I think they gave the match that everybody wanted for the high stakes that was involved. I think that's what we got. I think it's high stakes. They have to show their best. And the way that it ended justified. I mean, that sequence with the super kicks into the Styles clashes, super kicks sequences, all of that. Then you got the hidden blade and the kill shot sequence, all that to the very end when it was tag move after tag move, finish attempt after finish attempt. We got an outside TK driver, sorry, that somehow Swerve managed to still stop the count on Osprey. Like when he got hit with it, like they raised their bar, like they raised their game to the point that we just couldn't take it. They did. No, they did. I know they did. So did Mr. Perfect. I'm just saying, in this way right now, Kyle Fletcher is not, he's not fully established as a singles talent. So that's why I'm going to I'll defend the Rock and Savage winning two title belts specifically. They were vacated because they were doing that in story. Adam Cole's wasn't story. That was real life injury ruining his moment. I feel like it's totally different. It was an excellent tag match, and yes, they absolutely put them over. I think we were all unsure 50-50 who to pick. I was more on the lines of I think the Bucks would have put them over because the Bucks will want something back in return, and I think we'll find out. I think there was a bit of an odd thing saying that Swerve wasn't used to tag matches when Swerve used to be a tag team champion. I didn't understand that. And I thought as well, one great moment that deserves more talking than anything else is Jojo Offerman. Her singing for Swerve was absolutely beautiful, and I thought that was beautiful and because of what she's obviously had to endure. I love the touch of the fireflies on the screen in honor of Bray Wyatt, obviously. I thought that was a nice touch. I did not expect Offerman to appear at all. I never had that as a bucket list. But I thought the moment was nice, and you can say all you want that AEW are just match after match after match, and if you want to think that, that's okay. But you can't deny that if they don't, you can't deny they tell stories, and you can't deny they don't tell stories, they do, and you can't deny they don't create moments. They create a beautiful moment for her and her family in that way. It was special, and we were all treated to something that when you think of AEW All In Texas, one of the first things you're going to think about is JoJo singing. You're going to think about that. It may not be your first thought, but it's going to be one of your first three. And if you don't think that, I truly think you're talking nonsense. If you don't think that's one of your first three moments that you think about, the Bucks don't get the respect they deserve. No, they realistically they don't. I think some people are right when you've seen a Bucks match. Sorry, you've seen them all, and I get that. But you also have to look at they changed the match formula for this. It wasn't a typical this is what we're gonna do. I did say obviously on the watch along, I'm not gonna change my point of view on one thing. I don't like when they go into the massive super kick frenzy. I don't mind hitting three or four. I just don't like when they hit eight, nine, or 10 in succession. I've never liked that. I've always been clear about that. I thought but the only time I'm going to excuse that super kick spot is when we get the super kicks on Osprey and Swerve when they're sat down, and then Swerve's on his knee protecting Will. Throwback to that Dynamite episode. That's the only time I'll allow it because it's a callback. But I just ain't a fan of constant super kicks. I feel like it loses its spark. It loses its feel as an offensive move. But I thought the use of the EVP trigger was spot on. I thought the use of the TK driver was spot on. The Stormbreaker Swerve Stomp combination. Oh yeah, it is. It is. I certainly enjoyed it though. I never thought I would get that far. I didn't even think I would do 8 hours, but it was certainly a special event, and rightly so. It was one that we can all enjoy. Up next, the longest of women's match out of the two we were delivered. This went 27 minutes. The women's title match went 24 minutes 10. So 2 minutes 50 seconds difference. This women's gauntlet, he does, and that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like if you overdo the super kick, then it loses its appeal. If you have like one or two at the start of the match, maybe as like as a shock, and then say one in the middle and then one at the end, or two or one at the middle, two at the end, I'm okay with that. But if you do so many back to back to back, is that really trying? Is it really trying? I don't know, but I do at least like the way they worked the match. I thought they were all excellent, and you can just see that they will all have a big part to play later in the show. That you know that this was not the last you were going to see of them. it was it was certainly fantastic. The women's gauntlet, however, um, obviously it starts with Statlander number one, Megan Bain number two. Entrants were coming in slightly thick and fast. Willow Nightingale number three, Ty Mello number four. She did bring, of course, Anna Jay to ringside. Penelope Ford accompanied Megan Bain to ringside for the matches. Harley Cameron showed up after suffering a facial injury. She's in her pink, creepy mask. She assisted, obviously, knocking Penelope Ford off the top rope. She was going to go for the Doomsday Device. Really, really strong. The crowd were firmly behind that. Harley, like, this is a good group. Anna Jay, Ty Mello, Harley Cameron. That's a good trio to have. It's a good combination because the crowd loves all three. We get the likes of Thekla next, who came into this match very strong, very strong. She doesn't she doesn't waste time. She doesn't waste a beat at all. Julia Hart comes out next. Does her usual slow singing of the entrance, but then she quickly chases it to a run with Julia Hart. Julia Hart and Sky Blue run to the ring. They get some fair amount of offense in, not a lot, but they get some before Queen Aminata shows up. Queen Aminata was excellent. I won't deny that. Queen Aminata was fundamentally excellent in this match. She was one of the main standouts for me, if I'm being truly honest. Mina Shirakawa, loud pop for her. She gets the crowd on the back of her feet. She is extremely exciting, and the crowd loves her as well. We can see the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena comes out next. Large ovation for the Texan native. Another Texan appears next, Thunder Rosa. They do battle in the ring, very aggressive. We get Suri debuting in AEW as well, and then after that, Alex Windsor, the final entrant. Really well done. The powerbomb to the outside of the ring at the very end from the turnbuckle. That's when you know the match is coming to an end. Really well done. And then, of course, Athena does get the win. She is now obviously the number one contender. Really good. And this match actually, I think, was better than the men's. I think this one was better than the men's because it used both the outside and inside of the ring. They didn't use a lot of the outside for the. They didn't use a lot of the outside for the men, which I was a little bit disappointed by that, which is really annoying. But that's just my opinion on it. 18-minute tag triple threat tag match next. The Hurt Syndicate do retain. This was violent, like in terms of like all involvement. Like obviously FTR at ringside on commentary, constantly taking the mick out of Tony Schiavone. That was funny. It was aggressive. It was violent, and they did not waste time at all. They did not waste any time. These three teams really was impressed. I think Jet Speed, of course, were unlucky not to win. They were probably the most imposing threat to the syndicate than the patriarchy, but they got their proud moment at the very end. I thought the spear on Christian said it all. Like Christian tried to get a spear on Lashley and was unsuccessful. The use of the Dominator, the kill switch. Nick Wayne stood out a lot as well, but the impact from Lashley just spearing Christian next week. We then get a face off between the FTR and the patriarchy, which leads to the turn of the Waynes on Christian. You hit him with a kill switch, and then they proceed to hit an attempt of the concerto. But we get the famous return of Adam Copeland. Attacks everybody, hits FTR with spears. Told Christian to go find himself, and then he left him spike. You know what? This whole thing was great, but again, it's a further example of post match outshining the match. The post match outshined the whole thing. As mentioned by Justin Roberts, the first of three main events, or three main event caliber matches, is how we should have said it. The women's world titles up for grabs. Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné both really tried to pucker up for narrative. The cheerleaders entrance was excellent. The pre-entrance video that Storm had, I really liked that. I think both of them were playing each other really well. Tony Storm has got excellent crowd control. It's only bettered by Okada, in my opinion. I think Okada's the only one that's better than Tony Storm when it comes to controlling a crowd in AEW. There was a lot of Stormbreakers, statement makers throughout the match. The Storm Zero, multiple use of that as well. We had a triple Storm Zero that Mercedes kicked out of, which is the spot, for me, the spot of the match, one of the best spots of the entire show. Tony Storm looked fundamentally incredible. Mercedes Moné looked fantastic. I don't think this match I don't think either person truly, even though there's a winner and a loser, I don't think either or truly would be a loser because the crowd were behind them from the very beginning. The crowd in between were slightly silent and quieting down, but for this whole match, the crowd was fundamentally involved. They were maintaining strong ways of changing the match. I thought it was brilliant. The top rope Storm Zero never fails, sealed with a kiss. Mercedes' fate was sealed by the Actors Guild. The second of three main event caliber matches, the Continental Championship versus the AEW International title into the inaugural Unified Champion. Kazuchika Okada, accompanied by Don Callis, puts his Continental title on the line. Kenny Omega with the international title has Kota Ibushi at ringside. Now, here's the funny thing. This match is good, but it's arguably the worst in their entire series of matches they had. It's the worst of their entire series, but the match is outstanding to watch. Like, it's a crazy duopoly. I thought the video package for this match was absolutely exquisite. I like the fact they were using old footage as well of like the face to face that Osprey had with Omega when he ceremoniously the fire that they had together, the bonfire on the trash can. Okada standing excellence as the leader of Chaos. Kenny Omega as the leader of Bullet Club at the time in the Elite. We see the Wrestle Kingdom matches, and obviously we see Okada's brutality on Omega throughout, and I think that really is massive. And even better, there's some positives to this. So one, each member of this match had excellent entrances. Omega's Omega burning symbol entrance was wonderful. The coin dropped loudly as well for Okada on this night. And in new gear, Okada has finally some new gear, and it looks amazing. Jim Ross on commentary as well for the first time since he defeated cancer. It's good to see Jim Ross for I don't know how long we're going to see this man, but he's incredible. And I'm glad that we got to have him on commentary for this match. If we didn't, I would be absolutely gutted. I think this is the one that made more sense. Okada does have most of the control in this 30-minute brutal war chest of a match. He has the most control, I think. I think overall, the heaviest hitter was in the second half Okada until the last 5-10 minutes. The last 5-10 minutes of the match, Okada really took it to Omega. The one-winged angel, we didn't get a kick out, but we got Don Callis interfering, breaking the pin. Multiple rainmakers. We had the spinning tombstone pile driver, which again is always an amazing move to watch. The not the waist grip. Yeah, the waist grip and the wrist grip of Okada needs to be studied because he's got incredible strength when he's maintaining grip. But of course, after slight bits of interference, Okada does win with the Rainmaker clothesline. Because Okada won, all matches for the Unified title will be under Unified title rules. Sorry, Continental title rules, meaning there will never be interference in these matches. It's just man versus man. No interference allowed, which is genius. That is actually a brilliant way. And that could also lead to how Omega takes the belt from Okada. There's no one left. And I think he'll bet the title maybe against his career. I think that's certainly a possibility. And then the main event, 5 seconds short of 36 minutes. Darby Allin was in the rafters the entire match. He was up there. People are thinking he was up there for the entire show. Wouldn't surprise me. Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley, Texas Death for the world title. Only way to win, submission or knockout. Multiple times this match was won by either men, or realistically won by either men in terms of the 10 count. Marina Shafir's involvement was neutralized towards the end. She ate a Death Valley driver through a set-up table. We had the barbed wire tables. We had the bed of, well, you saw it, the bed of spikes, the bed of needles, which was crazy. The fork at the very start. Moxley was bleeding very early on. Absolutely insane. The fact that we used the fork before we started blading was, I don't know if it's genius or if it's, well, the way they did the fork before we got to the blade. I don't know if it was genius, but it was certainly effective because he lays the shots in brutally on the skull of Moxley. Moxley's goes through 3 or 4 separate Crimson Masks. The Death Riders do show up. Will Ospreay tries to help Hangman, but he gets the same treatment as Samoa Joe, neck through a steel chair and gets stomped on by Claudio. He gets a pile driver on the outside. Swerve Strickland does come out, but this is after the Bucks. The Bucks multiple super kicks try to knock Hangman down. Hangman refuses to lose to the Ops. Sorry, not the Ops. Sorry. He refused to lose to the Bucks. Refused to die at their feet, which is wild. We get a Death Rider DDT, or Paradigm Shift, as we all love to call, onto the bed of nails. That includes a stomp. Referee starts a count. We then get video package. Just before this, even more special. The Paradigm Shift is just after this, but before that, we get a little video package that Darby Allin had taped whilst he was on Mount Everest, which is incredible. Saying he's coming for Moxley and the Death Riders, and we get the return in a Blue Panther mask, Bryan Danielson. He was asked by WWE not to do the yes chant, and he chose to come out and do the yes chant, which is absolutely funny. And he takes out Yuta with the knee. He gets rid of Claudio Castagnoli. He gets rid of Gabe Kidd. We don't know what to expect from Danielson now, but I think he may be involved in Blood and Guts. If they have a Blood and Guts match, I think he actually might be involved. We get multiple buckshot lariats. We got a dead eye through the table, and then the very end of the match, Swerve, who does come out to help, he presents the chain that was gifted to Hangman. That was presented by Hangman, sorry, on the end of Dynamite that was shown on Collision. He uses that on Ospreay. I wish. He uses it on Moxley, throws him over the top rope, and proceeds to hang him to the point where Moxley is in full panic shock mode. He doesn't know how to react. He doesn't know what to do. And he does tap out. After tapping out, we get the briefcase given to the new champion. He struggles to open the case, which is actually a nice touch. And then when he finally reveals the belt, it's still got Bryan Danielson's side plates on it. Untouched belt for 9 months, which is unheard of. Extremely unheard of. It's absolutely fantastic. That is an incredible moment. It's an incredible moment, and I'm glad they took it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed this review tonight, I hope you have. Thank you. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Also, please can you go and check out Covalent TV's review of this show as well. It's one to review, it's one to enjoy. It's actually a really good review as well. Their content is so significant, so intriguing that they continue to push the envelope in that way is brilliant. But for me, I'm gonna say lastly, thank you so much for everyone who's been involved the past couple of days in the watch alongs and now the review shows, and obviously I'm gonna get out here. Obviously Raw tonight, gauntlet match. I think it's Punk or LA Knight that wins. I don't understand why they need to do a gauntlet match for it, but they are. I suppose that's just their choice. I don't understand the decision, but hey ho. But just want to say thank you all, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one, and bye bye.